Good evening and welcome to the Fallout Bar after night 8 of this year's Premier League from Berlin tonight. It's flying by halfway through the season already. Dave, it's not one of those ones that it's not feeling like it's dragging as much this year.
No, definitely not. Yeah, no shortage of fun and storylines, and tonight was just maybe a bit of a reminder who's the kingpin in darts right now. Yeah, I kind of think we entered March waiting for the nuke to detonate, and in the last 4 weeks that has happened. So here we are.
Yeah, like you say, it was one of those. I think it's not been on since week 4. I don't think me. Obviously gallivanting down in Minehead and then recovering from Minehead flu for a couple of weeks after that.
Welcome back.
Before I'm back to it, but yeah, I mean, we were starting to get a little bit worried about him 4 weeks ago when I was last on, and he was languishing down the bottom end of the table. But that all seems a long, long way away now after he picked up his 3rd nightly win of the last 4 weeks. So we'll get straight into it. And I sort of sat here just going, I just want to talk about that final, but we have got another 5 games that we need to talk about before we get to that point. 6 games even. I've lost count of how many there are. This is lacking match practice when it comes to the Premier League. So we started off the night with Josh Rock up against Johnny Clayton. Obviously, tonight was the week where everyone was playing everyone based on the spot in the table as well. And I was just really happy for the bloke, I've got to say. It needed to happen soon. We had to see it happen. And finally, he is still rock bottom, but he is no longer pointless. Josh Rock, 6-3 victor over Johnny Clayton in a bit of a battle, this one.
Yeah, Johnny's he's fine. He's just got to be a little careful. I know he's very happy-go-lucky and he has probably the best attitude out of any player in this Premier League. He just seems really happy to be there. It's clearly worked for him because of how well he's played. But it's got to remember, we're halfway there. It's a very tight table this year, outside of Rock, who got his first win. I think for him, it's just, get the win under the belt. Maybe his goal for the next back half of the season is to just try to win a night, do something where, they don't look at you a few years down the line and just immediately, not think to pick you because of what happened. Give them a reason, kind of like what Steven did last year. I believe it was on this night when he.
You are right. It was in Berlin.
Yeah,
it was one of those little things that we get at times in sport where you thought it's not going to happen again, is it?
Literally, yeah. He won that first match, and you were thinking it might be possible. Yeah, I wasn't fully convinced on the performance. Sub 90 was still an 89 average. Johnny played pretty bad. I think it was his lowest average of the entire Premier League.
Yeah, Johnny was nowhere near the level we've seen from him so far, coming into this top of the table.
But there were a few Rock matches where even though he didn't show up, he was playing guys who were playing really, really well. So it's the law of averages maybe working in his favor here, and he took care of it. I mean, he looked a little bit more comfortable, and that power scoring, even when he was struggling, was showing. And so, as someone, especially the loss in the Euro Tour to Kim Huybrechts over the weekend, he had that match and he blew it. He got nervous in the last few legs. So it's definitely, that was made it really feel like a mental thing. And I'm like, oh man, if it's leaking on, the Pro Tours, if it's leaking, into his floor game, it's not what you want to see. And so I think this will do him a little bit of confidence. And it was nice to see. You could see how much it meant to him clearly when that match start winning.
Yeah, I've seen people win this tournament and not react like that. But it was like you say, after 7 weeks of struggle and getting to where he is, it was massive for him to get it and just good to see, really. So then we moved on to the second game of the night. And again, this one felt a little bit of a struggle to watch. Humphries was just nowhere near it in this. And it felt a lot worse than 96 plays 99, I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what is going on. I don't know how else to put it. I don't think
the weekend, after going and winning the Euro Tour at the weekend, you think he'll come into this with a load of confidence. Van Gerwen's not playing his best at the moment. He's had a couple of good weeks, but then he's been back to being not great at times. And you think it's the sort of game we used to expect him to roll through it.
And I think, big picture, I won't say he's not still the second best player in the world, because I think he is. He just won a Euro Tour. Let's not get so recency bias on a quarterfinal exit at the Premier League. He's probably going to make the O2. But it feels like it was maybe for a while, Littler, Humphries, they were probably here, then they kind of came here, and then everyone else. And now he's just this gap between him and like maybe Price and a few others. Like, it's just kind of, he's getting closer to that group than he is to Littler. They're really spacing out, and we'll obviously get to Littler later in the show. But I don't know if it's a mental thing. I don't know if he's just trying new stuff. I know he's talked about, and we've mentioned the pause and the throw, but it's just, and he seems more just agitated. Like, he doesn't look like he wants to be up there sometimes. And I've noticed in the last few matches, and I mentioned it in our chat, he's been, and maybe for right reason, like I'm not there, so I don't know, but he's been complaining a lot at the end of a lot of these matches, like about crowd noise or all these things that maybe wouldn't, he's his nickname's Cool Hand. These things wouldn't impact him in the past. And I just wonder if he's losing some confidence or if he's just tweaking things. Look, he's still really, really good. Like, we're talking about a 96 average. Like you said, I think our standard for a player can often blind how well they or bad they played relative to what we expect from them. But just every time you start feeling inspired and thinking that he's like back to really, maybe he's going to be the one that can challenge Littler this year, he just throws in a performance like this where you're like, I'm not used to seeing this side of him.
Yeah, I will agree with you on the whole. There always seems to be something at the moment that's just not gone right for him in the game, and he doesn't look comfortable up there. I think there was a lot of today where the pace of his throw was changing almost every visit.
Yeah,
like sometimes he was trying to be more deliberate, then he was throwing them nearly like Ricky Evans at times. Like, it was, and he looked like he was trying to set off to go and get them out of the board on that third dart before he's thrown it quite a few times as well. It just all didn't seem quite right. And yeah, I don't know what it is. Sometimes I think these big arenas, we always see quite a bit of people complaining about a draft and things like that. And obviously he uses very long stems on there. It probably does affect him a little bit more because he's got a relatively sort of soft throw as well. But whether he was just trying to sort of counteract that, or I don't know, but he just never looked comfortable up there today. And
I agree.
Van Gogh was sort of a deserved winner, I would say.
Yeah.
And then we moved on to just the start of the ridiculousness. We had two not so good games to start us off. And then, I mean, this game between Littler and Bunting. Bunting was averaging 112 7 legs into the game. And he's not enough. He's still behind.
I'm convinced Stephen Bunting is just the reverse James Wade. Like, he will average 5 more than you and comfortably lose. Like, it's unbelievable how often he goes up against someone just playing incredible. I think part of it is that he's a pretty dang consistent scorer.
Yeah.
And then it's usually the doubles that let him down. 3 for 9 here, not great. But I thought he played great. Like, this is just one of those performances where you're like, yep, I got nuked. Like, I got nuked. Like, that's the best way. That's what he's going to go home and say to himself. And I think that's fine. I thought he played really well. There were just a handful of doubles that probably determined the outcome of the match that he just wasn't able to hit. And I know that's something we've talked about on here before, is just he doesn't, when he has that like one dart in hand, one dart at a double, it's close and it's just very rarely in, unfortunately.
But
that's
the thing, he's not missing by a huge distance. But
no, he's looked better this year than last year for sure. And it's looked more like what we see from him on the Pro Tour and in some of the majors than what we saw last year with him in the Premier League.
Yeah, and I think obviously he was 4-0 down, but he had opportunities in the majority of those early legs as well. I think that's what makes it a little bit more painful for him, probably. Like, I think there were a few bad ones early on in the game, and then after that, played really well. Obviously, the 1-6-7 went to get him on the board, and from there on, kicked on and, like I say, played really well, but just not not good enough to beat Littler when he's in this mood and when he's in the sort of mood where he can just change his darts because he wants to give people something to think about as well. Like something for us to talk about and waffle on about, as he said in his interview afterwards, that he changed them between game 1 and game 2 despite averaging 105 and just the same anyway. No difference.
Yeah, it's just I wish I could do that. That was the biggest thing I was thinking. I'm like, he could throw.
I can't think on my own at the moment.
He could throw a freaking. He could throw a pencil at the board and probably hit an 80 something out. Like it doesn't, when you're that good, it just doesn't matter. You could give him like pub darts. You could give him something that's hollow, made of some cheap metal. He's probably going to put a 90 something up with it. It just doesn't matter. Yeah,
you can literally, like, the ones that come with a board that are like brass and weigh about 12 grams and awful. He could literally go up there with them, and
he'll figure it out.
He'll still average
one. Yeah, it's just different gravy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we went on to the mismatch of the night, the easiest bet that there ever was, and there ever will be. I put it in our chat on Tuesday when it was sort of a much better price than it was tonight as well. That it's just an absolute lump job, and it's nothing against Jan. For him, I think with how he is, with his health at the moment, and obviously recovering, still suffering with the fact of the fatigue after having the surgery and everything else. For him, the result tonight was getting a better leg difference than the 6-0 it would have been if he didn't play the game.
Yeah,
and he managed to do that with with the second to last leg of the game, 113 checkout. Nice bit of fun. Played all right in stages, but obviously showed that he's not been able to practice as he'd like to.
Yeah, it's interesting because it really may come down to mattering because Van Veen suddenly had 3 runner-ups, and that's all of his points. He's got 9 points. He's kind of been a show up or no show kind of throughout the year. I think Rock's struggles have maybe masked him struggling a bit. He hasn't been near as bad, but
I think because he got off to the good start.
Yeah, and the good start was weird, if anyone remembers. Like, he was like low 90s squeaking past people who were clearly not playing that well.
Yeah, the opposite of Rock, basically.
Exactly. He was kind of getting away with it, if you will, but people were like, hey, he's racking up points. You won't care how you get it. And he looked all right. Like, he was hitting some clutch, like, ton-plus finishes. Like, I don't want to discredit him. But, it's got to start soon. And this, he's got to get fit for next week and for this kind of home stretch here, because he's going to be one of those guys gunning for those last spots in the thick of it. I mean, it feels like we pretty much have, 2 spots already clinched, barring any sort of catastrophe. So you got, if you want to include Steven in there, you got 5 dudes for 2 spots, and he's right in the middle of it. So he's got to, it's all right tonight, obviously, because of what he's coming off of, but he's got to start racking them up soon because he's got Littler next week. So I don't know if it'll happen there or not, but just good to get the leg, and you just throw this one out the window if you're him and just move on to next week.
Yeah, I think he'd have taken that going into the night. Obviously, no one goes up there thinking that, we'll just lose this one and it'll be fine. He clearly went up there wanting to win and trying to win, but it was always going to be unlikely. And if there's one person you don't want to play in that sort of situation, it is Gezi Price, because he is not someone that's going to just gift you anything. At no point is he going to take his foot off the gas. He's all business, all these are my 2 points. I don't care what it means to you or whether it's this, that, or the other. Like, if he could have won it 6-0 as he had an opportunity to as well, I think he would have done as well, and he'd have been quite happy to do so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any, who's better or not. I think right now, I don't think there's a debate. Consistency-wise, Price is the second best in terms of you're going to get a performance, some sort of B-game performance out of him every time he's up there. no matter what. Whereas, other guys who might be in the mix, Humphries is just maybe a little too inconsistent right now. Veen has fallen off a bit since the World Championship. I just think, he's a tough guy. And that's why, what was the stat they said tonight? He's been in 8 deciding legs in the Premier League this year. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely ridiculous, like you say. But 6-1 win for Gezi in this one. And we rolled on to the semi-finals. Now, apologies, we haven't got any graphics tonight because I was busy watching the chaos that was unfolding in the World Cup qualifiers and didn't do any work. So we are on to the semi-finals, and we started off Josh Rock, his first time playing 2 games in an evening in the Premier League, up against Michael van Gerwen, and it was sort of more of the same from both of them. I think they played pretty much the same as they did in the first game, but the only difference being that Rock's doubling in this one was a lot poorer than it was in his quarterfinal.
Yeah, it's kind of just felt like we were back where we started. Like I was thinking like, oh, maybe he'll build on this, and like you mentioned, maybe he would turn this into at least a final or a nightly win, and maybe kickstart his campaign. Who knows? But 90 average, like that's maybe going to win you half your first round Pro Tour matches. Like it's just not 90's not going to come close very often in the Premier League. And
no.
MVG just was fine. Like felt like he was playing like a dart bot just below his level and was just able to take care of it. Like it just didn't seem very competitive. The scoring's there. It's the doubling. Like it's been pretty clear that he I believe his first visit tonight in that quarterfinal was a 180. Like he
went back to back 180s. I think
he might have. Yeah. I think he went 6 in twice tonight. Yeah. I think he did in this match as well. Yeah.
Yeah. The first leg went 6 in, and obviously won that first leg in 10 darts, I think it was, or 11 darts.
I just think that's like the telltale sign, at least when I look at a player and when I even play, like, I mean, I zero experience compared to what these guys do, but the scoring is a little bit, there's less pressure. You're just throwing, you're throwing at the same target most of the time, 3 times. When you get to those doubles, like that's where it seems like it's obviously an issue. And for 3 for 16 in this match, like and some of them are not close. So you can tell that that's just where he's struggling to get across the finish line. So I think that's fixable. It's not like the whole throw's breaking down. He has something he can pull from, and he showed it in that first match, albeit it was a lower average than in this one. But, if you're him, the monkey's off your back, and you show up, focus more on how many points can I get? Can I salvage this in any way, or maybe win a night going into next week rather than just win a match?
I think that's got to be the end for him now, isn't it? Like, he's not qualifying, let's be honest. Well, you say that, but I suppose
if he wins a night, like, you never know, but he's got to win a night. Like, we can't just give it to him.
And wins 3 nights out of 4, all of a sudden he's right back in the conversation. But I think realistically, it's unlikely that he's going to qualify at this stage. But I think when you're looking at it and you've got to set yourself some sort of target. You can't just turn up and say, I'm just turning up for the sake of it for the rest of the season.
For the money.
Whether that is, like you say, win a night, or whether that is to get more points than what Bunting ended up with last year. It's just something to aim for, like I say, or even just getting off that bottom spot in the table.
Yep.
There's got to be something that you've got to aim for where you've got to have something to challenge for as we go forward. So we'll see how it goes from now on, with the chance that he's obviously that opportunity for him to be able to relax now and not have to worry about that 0 that was there. It might just improve things. But like you say, the scoring's fine. I think the problem was in this game that the scoring all came very early on. He was scoring really well to start with, and having the opportunity to miss a couple of doubles but still keep himself in the game. And obviously at 3-2, when he just broken back and he's back on draw, you think he's got an opportunity, but then sort of the whole game sort of went to pot for the end of it. So it was Michael van Gerwen that ran out a 6-3 winner in that one. And then we went on to Luke Littler up against Gerwin Price. Now, Carwin's not here today because he's still watching the Wales game that's still going on in extra time at the moment. So it's not because both of his beloved Welshman, got a bit of a battering. But once again, Going Price just cannot beat Luke Littler, can he? Whatever he does.
I'm starting to get frustrated for him because, and we were talking about it before we started up here, he's playing really well. He's just going up against, and you could say the same thing for Humphries, as much as we like to say, oh, he's second fiddle, both of them are playing so well relative to just the history of they're playing both right now, probably top 20 players we've ever seen, but it just doesn't matter because you're not the best right now. This kid is it's not close. It's not close. You need to play really well. And then you're maybe a coin flip against him. That's what it comes down to. Whereas, he rocks up with his S tier game like this, and there's just nothing you can do. I think it's just for him, for Price, it's almost the way it's happening where there's hope late in these matches that he can win it. And this is super small, but there was a,
I mean, there was more than hope last week.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that wasn't even hope. That was just a kick in the you-know-whats. But, and then he just starts to look like, I think the longer this goes, he's looking more nervous in these spots because it's so much built up tension.
It's almost like Josh Rock when he had no points.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that long that
it's the elephant in the room. Yeah, and he said, I saw he said in a presser, I believe it was yesterday for this, he doesn't think about it or he doesn't talk about it or consider it a thing, compared to early in his career with MVG, someone compared it to that. Yes, he does. I love the mentality, but
it's nice to say that, but let's be honest, he's talking shy.
Yeah. So I feel for him. I hope he can get that win. His best chance is probably going to be in this. I mean, if he goes the rest of the Premier League and can't beat him, how many more times is he going to play him in 2026? It's going to have to be at a Euro Tour on the floor. It's much less common, obviously, out in the wild that is the entire PDC rather than in this little bubble where there's 8 of you.
Though, is it? It's you get into sort of, if you wanting to win majors and win big events, you're probably going to have to go through him at some point. And if you literally cannot beat the lad and it's in your head that much that you can't beat it.
I mean, even if we get to the O2 and they play each other in the semis or in the finals, that's longer format. That's going to be even worse. So he's capable. It's just when you haven't done
one game, hasn't he? You're over 20, one game over 20 legs in his career in the PDC. So. Yeah, if you can't beat him over 11, you're very unlikely to beat him over that longer format.
Yeah, if you had, I'm curious, and I'll ask you, if right now, current form, if you had to pick one player to go up against Littler, who would you pick?
I'm going to sound ridiculous now because he literally can't beat him at the moment, but I don't think there's anyone playing better darts right now than Getty Price, and he's the only one that I fancy is going to beat him. I think at some point he's going to get over the line and beat him. Yeah,
it's him or Humphries, and it's just that's how silly it feels to say that because he's just so close every time. He's right there, so it's addicting to want to pick him because you're oh, he was right there last time.
Well, that's it. He keeps that is the thing. He's still putting himself in those positions every time. Even tonight, he got to 6-4 and. He's not getting blown away by him at any point. When you look at the head-to-head, 6-4, 6-5, 6-5. There was a 6-3 in there earlier in the season, but then you've got a 5-4, 7-5. They're all really close games, and he's pushing him. He's not getting blown away. But
the one thing I also and we talk about nerves and all that. The more I watch him this year, and this is kind of a random tangent. I cannot fathom he lost 3-0 to Wesley Pizer at Worlds. How did that happen? I remember watching it. I just can't. It just doesn't make any sense, and I just think it might be a little bit of that mental thing we've talked about with him. That just blows my mind.
No, my mate Big Wes. Is just. He's probably the second best player on the banner.
I love him, but man, that was the further we get from it, the more it doesn't feel real.
We do get the odd rogue result thrown up at the Worlds, don't we? Just random things happen at times. But we are into the final then, and Littler against Van Gerwen, and this was just great fun, wasn't it? Like it literally was just fantastic. Like he stuck with the second set of darts, Littler, in this final, where he'd obviously started off with the originals and then moved to the sort of new ones that I don't know whether they're going to go for sale at any point, like, or I assume so. Like they're not just making a set just for him that no one else can get their hands on. Like, it just doesn't make sense as a business, does it?
What a stupid performance. I mean, I almost walk away from this more impressed with MVG because, like, we know Littler can do this. But for MVG to at least make him have to hit those 170s and to make it a game after going down, went down 3-0. Like this is over. This is going to be a whitewash. And so yeah, credit to him for bringing it back. And you know he still has that.
I played really, really well in this game.
Yes, and it's just overshadowed when your opponent does that. Wins back-to-back legs with a big fish, and then to win the night, of course. So
just ridiculous, isn't it? Like the first one to go a leg away. MVG's on a finish, but he's on 1-4-2 or whatever it was sensational enough just to do that at that point in a final, to break throw and get yourself one away from winning it. To then get broken back in the next leg and then go and do that after MVG's missed a dart to win the leg, or a couple of darts to win the leg, whatever it was. I think it was one, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just stupid. Utterly stupid darts. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
And I just what? I don't know what's going to stop him this year. Who's going to stop him? I just don't. It's ridiculous. He's going to win like 80% of his matches. Like it's getting.
I think more than that. This was, I believe, his. Well, actually, no, it was he's played 92 Premier League matches now, which is ridiculous. He's played that many already, which shows you how often he's in the final and how often he's playing 3 times a night. But this was his 52nd average of over 100. And I'll be honest with you, I was shocked that he's had 40 where he's not averaged over 100. that shows you the level that he's playing at.
There's just no words anymore. He's going to come first, and I never want to say it can't happen. It just takes him to be really off and someone to be super on for someone at the O2 to rip this thing from him, because for so long, like Luke Humphries was that knight in shining armor, and it just feels like they're no longer on the same playing field. And our guy that we both picked as the one option that could maybe do it has not done it recently, like cannot do it. So he feels so, again, I didn't watch darts when Phil Taylor was playing, but I would imagine this is the invincibility, the inevitability that you felt watching. That's we're starting to approach. And I know we've said that, like, back-to-back world championships. It's not. We've been waiting for, at least I have, for it to maybe slip up, or he's young. Like, you just don't know, and things can happen, but it's just not stopping. And he just has this, there was what was it? Who was he playing when, when Steven took out the 167 tonight? Didn't even look up. He is so laser focused.
Focused. Like, we get sometimes from him where he's almost like, you think he's sort of having fun with it and playing around, but tonight just laser focused throughout the entire night.
He's like looking through the board when he's throwing. Like, he doesn't react to any. It's just it's ridiculous. And I'm curious to see. I wonder what you would set the line at for how many majors he's going to win this year. Now, obviously, that'll change depending on Players' Championship if he ends up going. If I know there's been talk about that, but I don't see how he doesn't win 3, 4 more, like, easily. That doesn't even feel like, I feel like I'm underselling it. Like, I don't know. It's getting ridiculous. It's good for him. It's awesome, but it's just.
No, I'm fully with you on that. I genuinely, he's not going to get any worse. If anything, he's just going to get better and better. And yeah, the levels are just sensational. Like I just never tire of watching it. Which,
No.
like, as much it's just the nonsense we hear sometimes where people are like, oh, it's boring, it's Luke against Luke again, which it's been less of recently. But when you're seeing the two Lukes, Gezi, all them playing at the best and going head to head, just never tire of watching it. No. It is just fantastic. And someone's going to have to do something ridiculous at some point, or like someone's going to have to nick one of his darts. Like, just make him play with two.
And everything everyone's doing, I think personally that I'm speculating. Luke Humphries is trying to change things. I think he entered this year thinking, I need to start doing things differently if I'm going to keep up with this kid. And so maybe he's just adjusting to life like that. I think everyone in the top 8, 12, 16 is like, he's who we're all trying to be. Like, we need to start, I need to start adjusting my game, or none of us are sniffing a major, let alone a major final.
You have to get better. Like, if you're a darts player right now, you have to get better because he is not going to get any worse.
Yeah, like 100 used to be the standard. You'd probably have a good shot to win pretty much any game, and that's still mostly the case. But against him, I mean, it's got to be 105 plus to make sure that you're in it, like not even winning it. I mean,
give yourself an opportunity. Like, what's Van Gerwen, 103 in this final?
Yeah, Stephen was
at nearly 104. Like, and he's pushed him, but again, that's still not enough to win.
No, and I don't think at any point during the match he was favored to win. At any stopping point, when it was 3-3, it was probably his closest chance, and he wasn't. I wouldn't have favored him to win. So, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see throughout 2026 what maybe we see some guys changing things, or doing what they can to just try to. I mean, who's stopping him over a long format when we get to these big majors? Because even in these short things where, I know Niels picked him off at the Euro Tour this past weekend, but in these short formats, like, he still looks inevitable. So what are you going to do when you have to beat him over 7 sets? Like,
when he just doesn't dip, he doesn't change like other players we've seen that have got these levels in them, but then will dip off for 4 or 5 legs.
Yeah,
he doesn't do that. Like, it just doesn't give you those opportunities. So, yeah, it will be interesting to see where the game goes over the next sort of 12 months, 18 months, and see whether anyone can sort of serve it up to him and start beating him on a regular basis. But let's hear from him, and then we will do predictions for next week.
Yeah, I mean, it's been very interesting, this Premier League. Obviously, Johnny ran away with it a little bit. But, yeah, I thought there was going to be a much bigger gap whilst I was sat 7th, sat at 6th 1 point. But yeah, now they can all try and catch me.
Do you feel that you got 1 foot in the O2 already?
Yeah, I mean, I think the last few years, I think it's been 24 points, 25 points maybe. So as long as we get past them points, then I think I can say I'm definitely in.
Also caught the headlines as well. Personal chef at Premier League, like, not a fan of the food at Premier League venues.
Some of it's okay, but like Barry said, hopefully you can sort it out, not only for us but also for the snooker.
He's 19. We have to remember he's 19.
That's it. That quote from Barry of it's like it's a darts tournament. Just shut up and drink your lager or whatever he said. It's like it's good. They've spent a lot of time trying to get away from talking about the fact that the players may or may not enjoy a drink now and then. But, yeah, brilliant.
I can't. So I didn't even. I'm looking at the updated table now. Yeah, I mean, 21 points. You can you literally could have done this when he was in 7th. I was still doing this. We've talked about it. You can just put a little asterisk next to his name and lock him into the top 4. Like, he's there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's very, very close to being there. I think Johnny is as well.
Yeah, it would take something.
Like I say, he's obviously had a bad night tonight, but he's been consistent throughout, and I again don't see that changing. So yeah, it is predictions time for next week. So this is your chance to get involved in the comments. Obviously, you get involved all the way through anyway, constantly in the comments and getting involved, but this is where we'll throw some of them up on the screen, well, all of them up on the screen as we go through it. If you're wanting to get involved, then you do need to subscribe. If you're trying to do it and you can't, that'll be why, because you can't comment unless you have subscribed. So give us a subscribe, drop a little like on there while you're at it. And we start off next week in, where is it next week? I haven't even looked at where it is.
They said on the broadcast, and I can't remember. It is, I got it right here. It is in Manchester.
Oh, it's up here.
Yeah. It's back.
Yeah, there we go. It's in Manchester next week. So we start off with Michael Van Gerwen up against Stephen Bunting in the first game of the night. Dave, throw it to you first. Which way are you going on this one?
I am going to go Stephen. I liked what I saw to him tonight. I think he's playing with a little bit more confidence, and it's I don't know. I think if I were him, like, it's more fun when you're playing. Obviously, like he's in the playoff mix. Like he's not.
Yeah,
I wouldn't back him to make it, but like he's not playing with his back against the wall, like trying to not embarrass himself. Like we're over that. He's at 7 points. It's fine. He's probably going to finish at double digits. Like I think he's over that. He's playing to perhaps make the O2, which I think if you told him in the beginning of the year that would be the case, then he would have taken
the first few weeks.
Certainly. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. He just looks a little different. His scoring's consistent. The doubles are close. They're close. It's not, miles away like it's looked like in the past. And MVG's just, man, like I said, probably the toughest pick in the Premier League right now in terms of just who's going to show up and predicting how he's. I mean, I can't believe he rocked up to the final tonight. I never would have guessed that. So I'm going to go Bunting. I'll go 6-4.
I think that will be probably quite a common scoreline, whichever way you're going in this game. I don't think it's one that anyone sort of blows anyone away in. I think I liked what I saw from Van Gerwen tonight. Like, he started off a little bit slow, but then sort of played solidly throughout the rounds and then played spectacularly well in the final. So I think he wins it, but I think he wins it 6-5. I think we're going all the way in this one. I think we get many a leg. And getting distracted in the background there as Ireland have just gone 3-2 up on penalties. In the chat room, what have we got? Gordon's got it 6-4 for MVG. Kev has got it 6-4 MVG as well. Andy's got Bunting 6-4, and All Boxed Up's got it 6-3 for Andy, and then Bunting 6-4 for All Boxed Up. Second game of the night, Gezi Price up against Luke Humphries. Which way are you going on this one?
I feel like I have to go with Price after all the discourse we've had tonight about the two of them. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not loving where Humphries' head is at. It felt like the double trouble kind of left him behind, but now it's still kind of lingering. He just won a Euro Tour, so I'm not going to like bag on him. Let's not get ridiculous. But I don't know. Price is just playing really, really well, and he feels like when he's playing anyone that isn't named Littler, he should be the favorite. That's just kind of albeit a narrow one here. I feel like I have to back him. I'll take him 6-5. This should be a really fun one. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it is one that will be a fun watch. Like you say, I'm going to go Price as well. I'm slightly wider. I'm going to go 6-4 this time. But yeah, I just think he's playing too well for everyone except Littler. Humphries 6-5 for Gordon, Price 6-1 for Andy, Price 6-3 for All Boxed Up, and Kevin's got it Price 6-2. Jan van Veen against Luke Littler. I think this will be unanimous in the chat room. I'm not sure how much of an improvement in health we're going to see from Jan and how much he's able to practice over the next week compared to what we've just seen. So I think it's a comfortable win. And I think it's 6. I think it's 6-0. I think Littler might do a real job on him.
Yeah, I don't know how you possibly. We gotta start doing like spreads. I don't know if you guys do spreads overseas, but like Littler -4.5. What do you give me there? Yeah, I
think -4.5. I reckon you might get even money on that. You might just be generous enough.
Yeah, they offer them here. I don't know what you guys have over there in terms of spreads or like totals, things like that. But I'll go Littler. I'll give Jan. I'm assuming he'll be a little bit healthier, but I'll give him 2 legs. I'll go 6-2.
There you go. What have we got in the chat room? Gordon's got it 6-3 for Luke, so he's got it relatively close, considering what we saw tonight. Andy's got Littler to beat Van Veen 6-2, 9 data and record average as well. And then 6-1 for Kevin and 6-1 for All Box Up as well. And then we're on to the final quarterfinal, which is the game that started us off tonight. Johnny Clayton up against Josh Rock. Repeat or revenge, Dave? Which way are you going?
I am going to go, man. I'm gonna go Clayton. Let's not get crazy. He played. I mean, this took him having like his worst performance of the entire Premier League for Rock to like just get by him. I mean, they averaged about the same. There was some pressure points. I want to back Rock to because I just think it's a fun story. He seems like such a likable kid. Like, hopefully he's more comfortable now that he has the win. Clearly, it seems like it was bothering him based on how he reacted. But I just have to go with Clayton. I just think he's more consistent right now overall, and I think he'll be seeking a little bit of revenge. And just a little poke in the butt. If he loses this one, like. And Gezi, MVG, like those top names start picking up more points. I just don't think he wants the sweat down the stretch. That's all. And I think this is to avoid that, you got to take out the guy who's sitting on 2 points at the bottom of the table.
What do I think? I think Johnny's back on form next week as well. I think he wins 6-3. I think, comfortable enough. Yeah. What have we got in the chat room? Gordon's got it 6-3 to the Ferret, 6-4 Clayton for Kevin. Allball's got it 6-3. So everyone thinking that it.
Ooh. I don't know how to fix this.
Oh, apologies. I was clicking off All What's Up's comment there, and I somehow managed to press back on that browser at the same time. I
was just gonna be both of us. I was gonna go over here and be you, and then be me.
Like nothing you can do because you haven't got access. To
I don't know. I was like, all right, everyone be well.
So that is all of that. So now it is from your quarterfinalists, winners. Who are you taking to make the final, and who wins the final by what score?
All right, so I have Bunting Price. Ooh, no, I can't. I'm gonna go Price over Bunting, 6-3, and then Littler over Clayton, 6-3, and I am going to do it. Price over Littler, 6-4. It's going to happen.
It's happening.
It's happening. I think I'm wish casting it. Like, I just want to see it happen because I just think I am one of those people where, like, yes, I love seeing greatness, but like, I do want to see him get pushed around once in a while. Like, I just want someone else to be in his atmosphere, like someone else to be able to knock him off once in a while, and Gezi feels like the best chance to do so, as we've discussed. So I'll take Gezi 6-4.
Which way am I going? So, have we got all the same? Oh no, you went Bunting to win, didn't you? I took MVG. Yeah, I think Price beats MVG. And
see, that's okay. Sorry, never mind.
And I don't think that Price beats Littler yet, but I think Johnny Clayton does.
Ooh,
I'm going all Welsh final next week, and Gezi wins 6-5 in a thriller.
that would put a bit of sweat on everyone else for that last spot, because that would just be the top three really separated.
Away a bit, then
yeah. That's what I was going to say. If you had, I mean, if Clayton gets to the final, which feels pretty good, that he'll at least get 2 points. Now he's starting to look like pretty solidified. I think there's maybe a little bit of panic. Again, like he's pretty safe, but if he loses to Rock 2 weeks in a row, maybe he doesn't look great again. Like, now I'm going to be just a touch worried about if he can hold on to that spot. But again, like I know people were saying in the chat, it would take a pretty wild sequence of events. He's got to get 5 points in, like, what do we have? 9 nights left. Like, he's probably going to do it.
So, what have we got in the chat room? Who's gone for what? Yeah, Gordon just said making up. I've just after watching them just lose on penalties.
Yeah, you got to give him a little love. Give him a little love.
I've just got to make sure that he's if he's switched over to this after the penalties have ended, just a bit of joy for him. What have we got then? We've got Gordon's got Littler beating Humphries 6-4. Price beats Bunting 6-4. Littler beats Clayton 6-3. Littler wins the final 6-2. And Gordon's his brother. Yeah, it's been a while since we've had the old brothers thing coming. And Andy's got Littler beating Price 6-1 in the final 2-1. So again, he can't do it again. No chance. I'm not having that.
Oh,
Even he's. No, he is actually that good. I'm not even going to try and claim that he's not good enough to do that 2 weeks in a row, because he will just do it.
We didn't even discuss this, but I was looking at it earlier. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you could find it somewhere. I'm sure it's maybe on the Wikipedia page or something. Is tonight the highest like night average for a champion ever? I mean, I'm looking at it.
It's someone probably in the chat room that may know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that.
It's 106, 109, 106. I mean, he's basically averaged, 107 on the night.
Yeah. I'd be very shocked if it isn't.
It's definitely the highest this year. Like, it's not even close. I'd be interested to see what the highest of a winner is, because you don't want to say not for a winner, because then someone in the first round, like Steven tonight, averaged 107.5.
Yeah.
But for a winner, like, especially because you got to play at least 18 legs, so you got to keep it up over a really long time.
I would imagine that is.
Has to be.
Let's just say it with confidence. That is the highest ever night average by a winner.
I'm saying it.
Version of the Premier League.
You just got to say it with your chest, and people believe
That's
you.
it. Well, say it loud and proud, and someone can clip it up and make fools of us when they're wrong.
Silly.
And that's it for this evening. It's good to be back. Good to be back on and doing it again. Always a pleasure having you alongside me as well, Dave.
Yes, thank you.
The Fallout Bar after night 8 of the 2026 PDC Premier League from Berlin. And we'll see you all again next week, when it will be from the greatest place on the Premier League calendar, Manchester. Night all.